right into the middle of the dungeon because I didn't really know how to split up this episode very well. There's not really too much to be said, though. We're still getting through the big doors. We're still looking to get to the end where presumably the treasure is. But aside from that, yeah, I'm going to be honest here. It's a kind of a nothing episode.
Yeah.
If you like dungeon crawling, and I do, you probably like this one, but I don't really think that's conveyed in the video very well. Oh, also, if you like characters explaining exactly what they see, as if it's some sort of impossible to understand puzzle.
It's hard to imagine nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I mean, I still very much enjoy like all the dungeoning and everything. It's just there's yeah, no, that's it. I am also very, very tired today, so expect the commentary to be kind of wacky.
Could be so uninsightful. Could be such a bore. Persona.
I don't even know what song parody you're going for here.
A game where nothing ever happens. All right, I'm done. That's the whole parody. We're done.
Things do, in fact, happen in this game. They're just slowly and expectedly, I guess is the way you'd put it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, starting right here, it just seems like, okay, Now, can I just jump up on top of this thing right now? No. Because usually that's what you do. Okay, I mean, the idea that I could even try and bypass the system was kind of foolish in the first place.
By the way, just I want to I found out, I didn't know this because I am a genuine fresh eyes dumbass. I don't read things. I don't learn new things outside of the context of the stream, which I usually, or this video series, which I promptly forget 90% of. But I did find out that there's an animated series for all the Persona games.
Yes, I do know about that.
Now, regardless of the quality of them, now it might explain why there's so much, problems that we have with the game, because it's possible, I was thinking, people just skip through the text when they're playing the game. And then they watch the anime to get the full, story in a condensed form in an interesting way. They just kind of play this for the high level thing. But I was thinking that's bullshit because they release it like a year later, don't they? Like it's months after the game.
I'm pretty sure that,
out.
It's not quite the same time. And two, I would say that, I mean, well, first off, the first place that I thought you were going to be going with that it's just like, yeah, and this is the dumb anime crowd who watches anime. Of course the plot is terrible. But, yeah, no, I think like the other thing is that I can't imagine relying on a separate source of media to be able to understand the full story of something.
I don't think it's more like understanding the story. I think it's more like experiencing the story would be my guess. It's just because, it's actually in a condensed form. But it's weird though. Why? Then what's the point?
Why would there be so many cutscenes though? You'd think that there would be a dearth of them if that was the case.
And it wouldn't. None of this would explain like just this mechanical thing that we're complaining about, where they explain every step of every puzzle to the point where I can understand it just by reading the transcript. By the way,
yeah, I mean, it's like you knew exactly what was going. I mean, I suppose you didn't imagine the room looking exactly like this, but it's like you knew what was happening.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's from reading a transcript.
Yeah.
Think about if you read a transcript of like almost any other video game. It's like, would you have as much of an idea of what was going on? I try and think about like it. Think about like reading, I don't know, I guess like right now I'm doing Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, that's an ongoing series as of this point in time. It's like if you read a transcript of that, you would have no idea what was happening. I guess you'd understand what is happening like in the general plot, but you wouldn't really understand like what was happening as I was going through the Magitech factory or the floating continent or something like that. It's like that would make no sense at all.
In fact,
you'd just be like, and then you go through the Magitech factory, and you just like, I guess that was probably an interesting sequence.
Yeah.
Here it's like, no, you know exactly what's happening at basically every juncture that is anything except for walking down a hallway.
Yeah, and to be clear, it's the gameplay is what we're able to figure out from the transcript. It's one thing if it's like, okay, I can figure out the entire story from the transcript. I mean, you have any kind of really heavy visual novel or text adventure game, of course you're going to be able to figure it out from the text. But that's not what's going on here. This is a visual medium. This is an interactive medium.
I called the last episode Persona 5 the radio play for good reason.
Yeah.
Where it's a visual. It's not even just that, but it's the fact that all actions are conveyed through speaking, as well as actually showing stuff. Like it would have been very self-explanatory, say, if like that gigantic boulder just fell towards the characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe have them yell or something, or be like, "Oh no!" But
no,
like it's not.
And I think if anything, the radio play is too generous because radio plays do leave something to the imagination.
Yeah, I mean they also like use stuff like Foley work and everything to try and really sell stuff rather than just having somebody be like, "Oh, is that the sound of footsteps?"
Yeah.
And then they don't do anything. Well, and then maybe they also play the sound of footsteps.
Yeah. Like maybe what they'll do is they'll play the sound of footsteps and they'll be like, "Who's that?" In the hall or something, and it just okay. Now I'm forming.
That's the sound of footsteps. Somebody must be approaching.
Yeah.
which is the Persona 5 method.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if we go outside and check who it is, we can find out who it is.
We might be able to find out who it is. Do you think it might have been John, who we've been waiting for this entire time?
Someone with they were obviously wearing shoes. I think we've established that.
Only somebody who could be wearing coverings of the foot in such a fashion could make sounds as those.
Mm-hmm. This was clearly based on this camera that is at the foot level. We can tell that they wore red shoes. So we're looking for someone with red shoes.
Okay. You're telling an entirely different story when somebody has foot cam.
Yeah, it's true.
That's that is a horse of a different color.
Is a foot cam? Is that like a fetish thing? I'm sorry. I just.
It's gotta be, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's okay. Okay. I'm just trying to unpack this right now. Like feet are supposed to be feet and not like clothed feet. But at the same time, I know that there are people who are definitely down with the shoes.
Oh yeah.
So
on that like the sweaty sneakers, like just wearing a barefoot over a sneaker.
Those sneakers are just glistening, covered in sweat. It must have been in a very hot room. No, I mean I was more like thinking that is just looking at the shoes enough?
I'm sure. I mean, certainly that's a fetish. I mean, we don't even have to guess. Like, obviously, that's somebody. But
I mean, it must. But is that enough to set up an elaborate?
You probably wouldn't do that you wouldn't have a foot cam. That'd be like an incidental thing. It's like, oh well, sometimes we can detect the color shoes that an intruder is wearing.
It would make sense for. I'm just saying that it's like if they were barefoot, sure.
I mean, like 10 intruders in a year, you'll know, like, you'll be able to tell what shoes they have before they even come in. And it's like, okay, this guy's got dress shoes, so that can't be the guy from last time, unless he bought another pair of shoes, which I caught him last time.
That actually is a true thing, where it's just like a lot of criminals do not actually change out their shoes after committing a crime.
Yeah. Even if they get blood on it, it's one of the worst, like, it's one of the biggest reasons for homicide clearance. It's just, oh, fuck, I didn't change my shoe. There's trace amounts of blood.
It's like having trace amounts of like niacin in food.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I got like blood all over all of my shoes, but it's not from murder victims. It's just because my feet are very sensitive.
Well, or you were doing some butchering, you
was doing some butchering. I was, volunteering over at the Red Cross. I was studying like sickle cell anemia.
Yeah.
You know, the usual stuff. It was a full weekend.
Well, you know, can I just say a pet peeve that I have? Again, nothing is happening in this episode, so don't worry about that. If you're at home and you're like, oh, well, what's happening in this episode? I'm listening to this. No, nothing's happening. We're just...
I kind of want to defend it a little bit because it's like, you know, hey, there's some dungeoneering going on in here.
It is a puzzle.
Like, this is not entirely unusual for a video game. It's just I'm cutting out all the battles because, well, as much as I like doing them, I don't think they make for good television.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. As opposed to this, which is great television.
I mean, it's essential television. Look, we talked about this last time where I know that I do not want to be the arbiter of what is worthwhile unless it is explicitly repetitive content.
That's true. So so my pet peeve I was going to say is when people use like, oh, he's a butcher, like when they're trying to like show that somebody's like a monster, you know, like they're brutal and they're murderous even. And it's like butchers don't necessarily even kill the animals. I mean, they can obviously, like, but they don't necessarily. I mean, and when they do, it's part of like an established social ritual. You know, I mean, it's not like they're just doing it and then. I mean, they're making something useful from it. They're useful to society. You know, it's like
I mean, that is also a thing where I do think it kind of highlights our very complicated relationship that we have with meat entirely.
Yeah.
Where it's like we do recognize that it is the flesh of animals, but at the same time, we are also okay with it, but we'll also do things like refer to the violent people as butchers.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I was kind of thinking that as I was saying. It's like, because, I mean, they arguably, you know, maybe you don't think they have a valid role in society because you're against meat, but then it's like, that's not what you're saying when you say somebody's a butcher. You're saying that they're going above and beyond. Like, it's like, I guess, similar to like calling somebody an undertaker. Somebody has to be an undertaker. And if you have the death penalty, somebody has to be an executioner. Like, and, you know, if you're a king and you've got an assassin, well, that's part of your system. It's like just calling somebody an assassin or this guy's a mercenary. It's like, no, these aren't really. These are just roles that people have, and they're normal. And it's normal to kill people for sport or money or just like as part of your life. And it's like just taking people apart, just going sinew by sinew, knowing exactly where to tear a human apart to get the most meat out of them. I don't see what's abnormal about that. Anyway, I think we finished.
Yes, this all makes a lot of sense to me.
All right.
Okay then. Anyway, I'm too tired to come up with anything interesting to say. It's a big old sleepy episode today, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not even entirely sure what you were talking about a second ago.
You've got
well, yeah, so we are jumping on top of these boulders, as they were saying earlier. Also, you get to see like the big barcodes and everything. I wonder if that actually means anything.
Actually,
it's like supposed to be a Easter egg or whatever.
Yeah.
But as it is, I'm not. There's just a certain point right now where I'm like, man. I mean, I'm willing to muster up a lot of enthusiasm, even if I'm not particularly interested in the game I'm playing. You know, with the suggested stuff. Sometimes you get stuff that I'm like, I mean, yeah, I like this well enough, but it's like I still try and get into it anyway. But it's like Persona 5 has just kind of zapped that entire feeling from me here, where I'm like, oh, maybe I should go look this up, and I'm just like, no. No.
You know, in Danganronpa they have this great this sketch where the whole thing is just in Morse code, like, and if you go to translate it, it's like you know, don't forget to buy your Kumatine or something.
Wow, they just went with that translation, eh?
Yeah, kind of a goofy, yeah. I mean,
it doesn't really surprise me. From what I've heard about that series, that's what I would expect.
It's very simple.
It's such an old reference, though.
I love that. I love that shit. They reference like old cinema and stuff. It's great.
It's like super old cinema, though. And it's not like that's like stone cold. I wouldn't really say Christmas Story is stone cold classic. I would just say that's like, well known, but
Now,
I have the
it-
same sort of complicated relationship with Dead Cells, and for example, their insistence on making references to 300, for example.
Yeah, that's
Just like
problematic.
a movie. I mean, during the point that I did the first episode with the Spartan sandals, which is specifically what I'm referring to here, it's like I was 11 years old, and now it's 14 years old. And at the time, I was just like, well, hey, guys, if you don't know what reference they're making here, that's totally reasonable because that movie came out over 10 years ago.
Yeah, probably before some of the people who are playing it were born. Not even exaggerating. Or
Yeah, Dead Cells definitely has a big contingency of 7-year-olds playing it.
Yeah. So your biggest demographic, actually, I believe. You've shown me some of those.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And also nonsense. There's a baby boom indeed. Yeah. It's this puzzle. Even more complicated than last time. I guess somewhat more complicated than last time. There's some tech there. Yes, Ryuji. Like, why do I even need to say that? Even the sarcasm is old. Also, were those memories repressed? I thought that's explicitly why she was reaching out to the... I don't know. From the very start here, it wasn't entirely clear exactly what Futaba remembered.
So it sounds like she's still... So is Futaba the real Futaba? Does she understand what happened, or is she delusional? I
don't know. She's obviously suffering from wacky hallucinations and everything, but I'm not entirely sure if that means that she doesn't remember this.
I wonder if she's like a hypochondriac like me. Like I have all these things wrong with me, but I'm also like a savant. I like look things up all the time, and if I figure out like, oh yeah, you just need to go in and flip this switch, like a tech worker thing. Oh yeah, I can get people who can like shrink down to the size of a cell and just put them, like swallow them, and it's like they'll fix my problems.
People have not seen the movie Inner Space or The Fantastic Journey. I actually don't know which old movie you're going for here.
I mean, aren't they very, very similar? Like, what's the actual difference there? I've never seen.
Well, Jerry Lewis is in one.
Oh,
wait, was that him? Or am I thinking of something even entirely different? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Are those QR codes anything? Oh, you didn't. Oh,
they sure are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, it might be one of those things where it's like, oh, that'd be fun to look up. But,
that'd be
somehow
fun
I don't
to
think
look
this
up
game's
if
going
I
to turn into
wasn't-
like an Environmental Station Alpha with the meta puzzles.
Yeah. Like this would be fun to look up if I didn't feel like I was dead inside because of this game specifically.
If I wasn't already very tired and, I'm already doing all this Japanese stuff aside from it, and also I liked the game. Maybe most importantly, that last one. Maybe almost entirely that last one. Well, anyway,
You just need to.
it's still like weird that we got an Egyptian theme, despite the fact that, I mean, you would think that tomb would mean more spooky, scary cemetery rather than large pyramid, unless she was a part of Medjed, which she doesn't seem to be. And I'm telling you right now, I've been going through the game a little bit more past this point, and I don't think she is.
She's a
Like,
part
I
of
don't-
it. Why would she? She's not part of Medjed. There's no way. Like, she's got to be, right?
I don't think she is.
That's weird.
I mean, that's one of those weird. Of course, Persona 5 is the master of the non-twist, where it's like, wow, it is exactly what you think it is. Or like, if you thought something happened, it was actually happening in a way that was much less bad than you thought.
Yeah, that I still can't get over that school assembly. That might be the most like egregious thing that we've done in this whole series. Like,
Yeah, that wasn't even what I was thinking about. I was thinking about like Torinosuke or Takemi, where it's like, yeah, they had bad stuff happen to him, but it's definitely not their fault.
by the way, I learned how the shape of all the stories end. I don't know like the specific details, but it's really gonna be.
Why did you learn all about that?
What was that?
You know we're doing this series.
I know. I mean, look. Someone may have
The
mentioned
speculation is the only thing that we have to go on 90% of the time.
I know. I'm just gonna tell you.
And complaining.
The only thing I won't say anything about it. I don't know any of the actual specific details. It doesn't really matter for me, and I won't spoil it for you. So we'll just.
Oh no! The series is falling apart in so many ways.
No, I'm still gonna be surprised because I'll just forget everything I know. So.
I don't believe that. Oh no! Again.
I have a great memory, but
Whoa! I can't believe I saw through that.
What? I'm sorry. I told
You are banned from saying that.
That's right. I am. And you can tell
occasionally.
That was an organic exchange there. Doc knows that I'm banned from saying that, so.
We exchanged some fresh lettuce and greens, almond milk. It was an organic exchange.
Yes. Get some kale in there. Get some arugula.
Did you say arugula?
Yeah, I love to put arugula on my bagel.
Okay. This is something I want to ask about right now. Is there something wrong with saying bagel?
No, I think it's a Midwestern thing. I've heard it said as bagel before. I think some accents say.
Am I not saying it as bagel?
I'm not going after you. I said arugula, which is kind of a. I didn't mean to say it. I know it's fucked up, but I'm just kind of.
I mean, it sounded more like you put far more syllables in the first time I heard it. But no, people told me about that, but it's like I'm not entirely sure. This is not like the difference between the Canadian pasta, as far as I know, where it's very obvious when you're saying it wrong.
Wait, Canadians say pasta?
They do. I've heard it.
God, that is. I wonder how many conversations they've said pasta.
They also say lava.
For lava?
Yes.
That's weird because both these words, I believe, they're both Italian. Like, oh, you got the lava. Ooh, the Mount Vesuvius, eh?
Yes, just play Funicula, and it's like you'll be.
That's a
something.
I actually know what that song is, and everybody else does, but they probably don't know the name of it.
Oh well, you should.
Monster lava. That's how you say it.
Yes. Anyway. Yeah, no, that's the thing. But it's like a bagel. I don't really know what is the proper pronunciation.
I think it's bagel.
Bagel.
Yeah. And
what am I saying then?
You're saying it the same way. We're both saying bagel. This isn't even a bit. I know.
No, but people have told me about this before, which is why I'm trying to figure this out.
We're probably.
You seem to have some sort of insight onto it.
We're the ones without the accent. We've got the normal accent. Everyone else is fucked up. And
well, the Midwestern accent is kind of like the canonical one, I think, from America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't really know where else I was going with that.
It's weird that broadcasters. Oh yeah, well, just teach yourself to talk like Midwesterners. They don't have an accent, or we don't count it. We don't count.
We don't count that one. That's the canonical English, yeah.
Honestly, what I think.
Yeah, the canonical English. I'm gonna say that right now.
I think the canonical accent in the U.S. is probably.
I didn't say the U.S. I said English.
Okay. Well, I'm just talking about the U.S. here. I think the canonical accent is the like Illinois, like just Chicago. Not even Chicago, just Illinois. Just yo whoa 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 whoa. And that's the
yes, that's what I sound like. Anyway, here's more confrontation with Futaba, where for some reason we're blaming Ryuji for everything. What's up with that? It's like, poor Ryuji. But I mean, I guess that's not really anything new at this point now, is it? Like, what do you mean? She's like here to explicitly try and whatever. Hey, it's Maud again. Also, again, it's like, really couldn't have gotten a second character?
Oh, god damn it, Ryuji. This is all your fault. Everything is your fault.
Now, sure, the Shadow, as with every other palace that we've been in, is explicitly trying to kill us and has little care for anything we say at all, but you did it especially bad. Your asking of, hey, why he's being so mean, was the thing that really pushed her overboard. Otherwise, we would have immediately been able to go and finish this dungeon right now if you did not be like, stop trying to kill us.
Ryuji, you re-traumatized her, and it's really fucked up of you to do that. We're just here.
Now it's a double palace. Also, hey, Ryuji rat.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm sad that we don't get to see more of that.
Rat Yuji. I don't know.
That's the best you got.
Ryuji the rat. I don't know.
Oh. Ratuji sounds more like, Ratatouille.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's probably the best one.
Now, well, I win. Give me my trophy.
Okay, I'll just give that to you. It's all right.
Oh boy, it's so large. It's falling over on top of me. Ah! I am now crushed underneath it. I'm very tired.
Now, how much gameplay are we at? Like you're not showing most of the battles, but like, how many battles are there actually like in this dungeon?
Quite a few.
A lot. Okay.
I mean, I've been going through a number of them just through the dungeon so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cut every one of them out, so I'm pretty well aware of where they're appearing right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like there's quite a bit of stuff here.
Hmm.
It's just, of course, it is very quickly broken up by a lot of characters being surprised the doors open.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like I've seen this in some game making guides and stuff. It's like it's weird because it seems like.
Tell me about these game making guides.
Well, okay, so in all seriousness, they kind of are like. They're telling you like focus on the thing that is actually worth playing, like the mechanic, the interesting thing. Like it seems like in this case, it's clearly the battle system. You clearly just have like a gauntlet of battles you go through.
Yeah, weaknesses, technicals. There's a lot of interesting stuff when it comes. I mean, I think that there's more things. The original Persona game, for example, had positioning of your characters. They had kind of like a 9x9 grid that you could throw them around, and you could be able to use different skills and be able to dodge different skills by doing that, which has been obviously dropped for some of the later series. But it's like there's some interesting stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be improved upon still, but I don't know. I like it for the most part.
By the way, just abominable and dialogue. Just that part where you're going in. Oh, this looks like that Anubis statue from before. I bet we can use this. Ryuji says. You pick it up, and then Anne says, "Okay, great, we've got it. Let's go."
Yeah, it's super weird. They have to be all like, they have to confirm that you did indeed take it.
Like neither of those things contributed to my experience of this.
Also,
game.
this. Who is this for?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does look pretty cool, but again, it would look cooler if if it was a little bit more immersive, you guys. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, hey, at least that's a character moment rather than just explaining what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, this is something that I could have hit earlier, so I kind of missed getting the English dialogue for it. Whoops, my bad.
Oh.
Like, what do you think they're saying? The wall has crumbled, and now we can move on. Yeah, no, that's... You
and
got
there's
it.
a door there.
Well, do you want to... Hey, look, Joker, it's a switch. Do you want to press it? And it's like, yeah, that's... Yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, just from a usability perspective, so at a certain point, you know, if you're playing this game, you're at this point, you're probably skipping all that text anyway. Now, I'm wondering, can you skip it? Is it force you into a cutscene that you can't skip, like, or is it just like...
I mean, it does. I have to mash through it. I can't just skip the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to mash, I guess, but you are still forced into a cutscene to do so in the first place.
Yeah, okay. So that's pretty shitty. There we go.
And also, it's, you know, why have that much dialogue in the first place? And why is all the dialogue unique for every single Switch?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, even just from a, like, thinking of the developers and their families, like the people who worked on this game, it's like, how much time did they have to spend making new dialogue options, new cutscenes, just to pad out things that didn't really need padding?
It's God, I'm telling you, it has to be. No, I can't imagine anybody is sitting here and being like, yes, this is the ideal way for this game to exist. It has to be padding for time.
Yeah.
It has to be, we have to make this game 100 hours long. And that means that any point in which it's like there was probably somebody dedicated on the team to be like, we could put in more dialogue here.
Yeah. Just imagine like being on that team. It's like, I think we've done enough. Well, we can always.
There's all these points that Joker just presses a switch.
Yeah,
think
exactly.
We might be able to shove a little, a couple extra lines there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I guess.
I mean, it's my job.
That's gonna add like maybe a grand total of like 5 minutes the entire playtime. Well, every minute counts.
Yeah,
we got to get to 100 hours, man.
What if we? I can just picture it like that's totally how businesses work with like directives and stuff. It's just like, oh, we've got this goal. You gotta measure what matters. Let's get to 100 hours. That's our main goal for this game.
The mythical man month type of deal.
Mythical man. We need this game to take 3 mythical man months to complete.
And the thing is, it's like we talked about this before, how there's not really like a ton of passion, for example, that went into the game, the story here. It sort of feels like maybe like the general outline of it, somebody had some interest in telling that story, but much else of it does feel very slapped together.
I am the Obsidian Dreidel. Obey my commands. I don't know what that thing is.
I'm not even entirely sure what the reference is.
I don't know. It's not a reference. It's just that looks like a dreidel, but it's in Egyptian. I don't know.
It's another one of the classic Persona, Megami Tensei monsters.
Yeah.
Fuck. They're not the Persona specific ones as much as people want to believe that these days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess now it is, because like the any sort of modern Megami Tensei game is going to be, or its many spin-offs. Well, I suppose not so many anymore, but it's like they are going to be using these models.
Are the Megami Tensei games really good? Do you like them?
Oh yeah, I like them quite a bit. The other ones are a lot more weird and sci-fi.
Okay.
I don't even know if I would call them sci-fi because they still have like demons and magic and stuff, but they take place in like post-apocalyptic and then not so post-apocalyptic Japan. Like theocracy dominated Japan, which is interesting.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
And the other ones are like it's a whole lot of stuff. I'm not gonna say they're like super great RPGs or anything, but they got some fun stuff.
Yeah, I only say that because it seems like whenever I'm like, wow, that's a really cool monster or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, it's from Megami Tensei. Yeah, classic monster from that.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Ignore that.
Okay.
What was I even saying here?
There's a door.
Yes, there's a door. Oh, well,
Also,
the sound might be a little bit desynced for a second here. I don't think it's going to matter, given
Okay.
how the rest of the episode has been going.
Yeah, this is not the top like 5 or even 30 episodes of this series. Sorry.
Unless you want to talk about feet.
Unless you really
you
like
big
that
feet
butcher,
fan?
that butcher Gaiden I went on.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
What was I saying here? Yes. The designer for a lot of these monsters is no longer working on the Megami Tensei games, Kaneko.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why they look a little bit different and from like a lot of the other stuff that you're seeing, where like for example the persona that the main characters are using were not designed by him. They look different because of that. It's like it's basically like legacy art being put into a new style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
The mural should display on the front wall, right? I'd expect so.
You would expect so, but not enough to just trust that that's really.
Oh well, yeah. No, I mean I do like I don't want to like shit on the puzzle. The puzzles is just fine. I mean it's like okay,
They're
you're making
fine.
it slightly more difficult. Yeah, that's.
It's clearly Futaba talking to her mother. Like
Yeah.
they're I can't even begin to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just slightly sped up, so
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, 'cause, I mean, you did Baba as you, so I think you're better at me than me.
was that like a speed puzzle type of thing?
No,
Yeah, I
it
was looking to
wasn't.
see if
But
just
you
like
still did it really terrifyingly, completely. I guess. So
well, except for 2 of those puzzles, which were
you never
frustrating.
finished all of them.
The only ones that I didn't finish were Skull House, which I needed a hint for because that was introducing a new mechanic that I didn't really understand. That was something that also after that point got a patch to put in an extra level to kind of ease you into the idea a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel justified in that. And then it was the final puzzle, the box, which, you know,
Mm-hmm.
is a very different type of puzzle,
Fair enough. Yeah.
which is easy to figure out once you get the shtick. However, I did not get it.
Oh.
Also, it's set up with a lot of red herrings, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, those are the only 2. Same with like the Witness, for example.
Yeah. I had
Everything
a few,
except for the boat puzzle.
I had a few like you what you mean just like the. Oh yeah, and of course, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah.
Everybody knows a boat puzzle.
Yep.
I mean, you had to explain to me the one puzzle in the challenge, but you know.
Yeah, I had trouble with a couple of the challenge ones, so.
Shut the fuck up, Yusuke. Every time with your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe we let you be in the party after all the shit you've done.
Yeah, Yusuke is kind of a scumbag. I mean,
He
we
is.
know that. Yeah.
Like, it annoys me a lot that we even allow him to be in the party.
Yeah. Like, all right.
It's
I
like,
guess.
oh, yeah, you know, I mean, I guess everybody is a lecherous asshole, but
Mhm.
we just overlook that. And you know, Morgana's sitting over here wondering, oh, why don't people stand up to blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, Morgana. Do you see the company you keep?
By the way, I want to point out, I think the caution tape, I was like, oh, that's kind of sketchy, but now I'm kind of like, oh, that's actually cool because that is like, I do like that as like an aesthetic thing. It's just that contrast between this Egyptian thing, the high technology, and then just like a police scene kind of thing. I don't know. I think it's
Well, she
neat.
actually does have that on her door. I guess she's a fan of
Oh.
the aesthetic.
Really, I missed that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's like the exact same model, just kind of like blown up, which is why it looks a little bit pixely here. Of course, as far as criticisms go, that's the lightest one
Yeah.
possible. I swear to God, if you guys don't understand that this is supposed to be a shadow, I'm gonna be mad, and I already know that is going to happen. it's the Persona writers are so convinced that they have this incredibly complex setting. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they aren't convinced of that, but they convince themselves of that. It's always.
So, just to be clear, we're at the end of this phase of the dungeon, and we're gonna have to go back. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna do the calling card. We're gonna do the boss next episode. And boy, it's a doozy.
Okay, cool. Sounds like
This is
fun.
actually like the first boss that's actually giving me any trouble in the game.
Ooh, that seems pretty interesting.
Well, you'll see why. It's for I want to say for somewhat unfair reasons, but that's also because I'm playing on the most difficult difficulty too.
Yeah.
It's I would imagine that maybe they didn't really plan out some of the mechanics based around the highest difficulty is what I'm going to say.
Oh god, okay.
We'll see that when
love
we
when
get
that
there.
happens.
And
Yeah.
oh man. But yeah, aside from that, it's like, yeah, this is really just the calling card time now.
Remember
I got all of the will seeds. I got all of the. Actually, really, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Remember, okay, we're at the end here, so remember to like other videos, subscribe to other channels. Don't like or subscribe to this one.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you don't need to subscribe to specific videos. That's not how that works.
Oh.
But sure.
Okay, well,
Also, I don't do that, right?